Hi there, my name is Luciano. I'm one of the many chefs at Cheflive, and today here I'm playing sidekick to our legend, the man behind Cheflive, our president, CEO, and great cook, Jimmy Madden.
Well, thank you.
Who's going to do what? Your grandma's meatballs?
We're going to do a little grandma's homemade Italian meatballs. Something I lived on for about 7 years, and it's a real simple recipe, but tastes pretty good. There's a few ingredients that we have: ground beef, Italian sausage, a couple of different cheeses, some fresh garlic, and we'll go from there. So what I'll do is I'll start working on it, and Luciano will be doing a little sauce with it, correct?
I'll definitely give you a hand here.
All right, I'm going to get the olive oil. One of the things I do is fry in extra virgin olive oil. You know a little thing about olive oil, right, Luciano?
Only those that can afford it.
All right, so I've got 2 pounds of ground beef. 96.4 is what I recommend for healthy, and it will keep your doctors off your back a little bit when you tell them that you eat 96.4 ground beef. So what I've got here is Italian rope sausage, which is filled with cheese and parsley. And what I'm going to do is take it out of the skin and add it to the ground beef. Now this is a casing that's put in. Sometimes if you go to a local store or your butcher, they have Italian sausage in bulk, it's called. And you don't have to do this.
Right, just buy the patties basically, right?
Exactly, yes. So how you doing over there, Luciano?
I'm chopping onions, and I haven't started crying yet, so I'm doing good.
Fresh onions?
Yeah, fresh onions. As per your recommendation, I'm doing a fresh tomato sauce. I'm actually slicing some onions here. I'm going to slice some garlic and roast them a little bit into a pan with olive oil, which is already here heating up for me. I didn't put in quite as much as Jimmy there.
Well, one of the things I noticed the differences between extra virgin olive oil, pure olive oil, all these blends they use, the cooking temperatures are much different. So I try to use extra virgin olive oil, get it hot, and then bring it down to just a medium temperature so it doesn't burn, but it's got great flavor.
So, but Jimmy, considering how expensive extra virgin olive oil is, what would you suggest to use
yes, I would
for
say,
somebody with a lower budget?
Yes, I would say, today in the grocery stores, I would find the best oil that's on sale for something like this, because once you add the pork and the beef with the fat and the oil, you're really going to change the whole texture of the oil anyway to start with. Right. So it's going to make it a fun
After you fried your meatballs, you're actually not going to use the olive oil anymore, right?
Correct.
So
it's kind of a waste. You're right. But it's for me, it's grandmother's recipe. You can't
mess with
right?
it. I know. And olive oil used to be cheap back then.
Yes, exactly.
Especially in a farm. Well, over here, I'm actually going to peel my tomatoes, so I'm taking off the little button that is on top where the stem was attached, and then I'm actually cutting a cross-like section on the bottom of the tomato, and then I'm going to dip them in hot boiling water, which I have right over here, also ready to go for the pasta. So you're boiling your water and you have dual use for it. And I'm taking the skin off because sometimes that leaves somewhat of a slimy texture in the sauce whenever you come across a piece of it. And just like that, as you can see, the water is boiling. I drop my tomatoes. Remember, if you touch boiling water, to be quick about it, don't leave your fingers there too long.
Well, Luciano, I've got my mixture of Italian sausage and ground beef.
Yeah, what else did you put in there?
A little clove of garlic. And then I happen to like cheese. How do you feel about cheese?
Well, cheese is good. Depends on the cheese that we use.
Exactly. So what I do is I do a little bit of Romano and a little Pecorino.
So a little sharp there.
Yeah. And so what I want is just a little bit of an edge to the cheese to add a little bit of flavor to mix in. Now, with the Italian sausage I picked, it has a little cheese and parsley already in it, so it's just going to do it. I also use it as my salt.
Right.
Because you'll find most cheeses are very salty.
Right.
So I just take a little wedge.
You use it as seasoning.
Correct.
So you first add the cheese and then you add the salt.
Correct. Because there's an old saying is once you put too much salt, you got to start over. Right. So I do a little cheese.
Sometimes you can fix it a little bit. You know
yes.
that, right?
I call that add more ingredients.
Add more, right. Well, you usually add a little potato.
Right. That's right.
That's right.
All right. So I've got a little mixture here of cheese.
All this trick in the book.
And Luciano, you know, one of the things I admire about your cooking is rustic cooking is kind of like what I specialize. When I went to culinary school, I trained under French chefs, and they were very meticulous in size and shape. And I was kind of rebellious to that.
Right. I mean, they were possibly also teaching you about, the hot cuisine and, different
Yes,
different ball game altogether.
exactly.
What we're trying to teach here is food that everybody can make in any kitchen with any ingredients you can buy in any grocery store.
Exactly. So now I've got a cup of Italian plain breadcrumbs that I sprinkle, and I start out with about a half a cup. And once again, I just hand mix it a little bit. I like to get my fingers in the food when I cook.
Yeah, I noticed that. You're going at it, aren't you? You got my onion sweating.
Please. Now I add 1 egg.
I think I put too little olive oil, though.
Not you. A little short on olive oil?
A little bit. So as you can see here, by the way, I'm peeling my tomato. I basically left them in the water for just 1 minute, and that's just enough for the skin to become real pliable, and it comes off real easy.
So Luciano,
And-
after I added that egg, I'm sorry,
Yes,
I
go ahead.
added the little bit more breadcrumbs. And once again, it really depends on the texture that you're looking for. For me, this is very hard for me because I don't cook by recipes anymore. I kind of cook by touch and feel.
Right.
So putting this recipe together, I kind of going to leave it up to you on what you like. Me, I don't like a meatball that's lots of bread. So
Well, I agree.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, Luciano, is I'm going to test my oil, which is what I do. Is I see a little smoke coming off it. I'm going to bring the temperature down.
Oh, look at that.
Nice.
Nice indeed.
So I think maybe we go a little break a little bit. And while we're on break, I'll get a few more meatballs rolled up
Okay.
and
I'll,
get them in the fryer.
In the meanwhile, I'll finish chopping my tomatoes, and I'll put them in a pan with my onions right there. And we got water. Got a little minute left, right?
Yeah. So what we'll do is, while we're doing this, you can go to www.cheflive.com and work with all these great chefs in Las Vegas and go step by step. We're one of the few companies that actually shows step by step on how to make great recipes easy to you.
Right at the click of a mouse.
All right, so I'm throwing these in. We'll go to a little break. What do you think?
Absolutely. We'll be right back. Don't burn those meatballs. And welcome back. I'm Luciano, and I'm here with Jimmy today doing his grandma's meatballs. Apparently, he's got them all rolled up and into the frying pan, and I got my tomato sauce here
That's looking
going
pretty
very
good.
nicely, yeah. So during the break, Jimmy and I decided that we actually are going to leave the sauce as it is. We're not going to blend it or anything. We're going to leave it rustic. I'm actually going to season it some with salt and pepper. And how are your meatballs looking there,
Luciano, can I
Jimmy?
have a little salt and pepper on this?
Sure.
I like those little salt and pepper shakers.
I
Right?
don't know.
My cardiologist would like to see me do that all day long. I won't let you
A
know.
little thumb exercise, right?
Well, you know, if you look at the teens today, you know, they text. They get their exercise by texting, right?
Right.
So, similar thing. Meatballs are coming along. As you see, they're starting to get golden brown.
Yeah, see, got a nice color going there.
One of the things that I like to do is the difference between homemade and store-bought or frozen a lot of times is they're all perfect because the machine puts them out.
Right.
So if you look, each one of my balls is a little different size and a little different texture to it.
Mm-hmm.
When you plate them up, you'll see the difference, how it really enhances the look of the
Of the dish.
dish.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And these can also be done as an appetizer. Just straight meatballs.
Maybe a little smaller.
Yes, a little bit smaller. You would do them.
Just put them on a skewer and
Exactly.
just serve them up in a platter.
Yes. So these are all working. As you see, the fat content starts to break down and the juices of the meat flow to the top. So these are working real nice.
We're actually going to then finish the meatballs here in the sauce, right?
Correct. So once these are done, what we're going to do is they've got about another minute and a half to work
Okay.
while the sauce is, and we're going to take the meatballs and we're going to add them directly into the sauce to incorporate all the flavors.
Right.
Meanwhile, we've got a pot of boiling water. What's going on in there?
I'm actually going to drop the pasta whenever we are ready to do so. You know,
Oh,
pasta
great.
takes about 7 to 8 minutes, so we want to make sure we're 7 to 8 minutes away. We want to serve it al dente.
Absolutely.
So if we wanted to tell the folks at home how to time this, we definitely wanted them to start doing the meatball mix,
Yes.
and roll them out, set them aside, and then start the sauce, and then just put the
Yeah, the sauce that I love is the one that's done in about 20, 25 minutes.
Right.
You're getting all the flavors of the tomatoes and the garlic and the onions and the meat.
Right.
When you cook it for a long period of time, then it becomes a little bit more like a heavy sauce. It's just
Yeah,
kind
I
of light and
don't-
healthy.
Yeah, I love fresh flavors myself.
Cheflive's nutritionists would like that. I know that.
Yeah, I know.
But let's
you gotta
talk
love
about-
you gotta love that bony, don't you?
Let's talk about 2010, Luciano, and Cheflive, and what we're going to try to do.
Well, we're gonna try to put together shows that emphasize healthier cooking, healthier eating, a healthier lifestyle. We're gonna try and take into account obesity and people being overweight, and how can you address that without drastic changes, without being on medication, or without going through drastic diet. I should be one to speak. I'm going through one now, but
How's that going for you?
yeah, it's going okay. But then again, it's about healthy food. I mean, I needed to cut out the carbohydrates for a while, and I'll do that. It won't be forever. It's just to give me a jump start. And as with all diets, that will make sense. You need to practice moderation. You need to not be a hog. And sometimes you have to have a little bit of willpower and put that second serving of turkey dressing down, and maybe go for an apple if you still feel the urge.
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you, one of the things I'm doing, I don't know if you notice what I'm doing, when I'm going to turn off the heat now and let them finish, but
So-
what I'm doing is squeezing them just a little bit
Right.
to get the fat out,
Okay.
a little bit of the extra fat,
And then
and then dropping them right into the sauce. And I'm
Perfect.
also, when you squeeze them, you can tell by the firmness of the meat that it's cooked all the way through.
right. Plus, we're going to finish cooking them in a sauce for a couple more minutes,
Exactly.
or until the pasta is done. So they got another 7 minutes to go at least.
Exactly.
Until the pasta is done.
I have to tell you, it smells pretty good,
I'm
Luciano.
telling you, I can't wait to try one.
Now let's talk about what you were talking about. CreateAChangeNow.org is a nonprofit
Right,
corporation that we
it's-
work with.
Right, it's a non-profit organization that we favor, and
I'm
you want-
partial to it. You know why?
please tell us.
Well, my daughter's involved in it.
Ah,
My wife's involved in it.
oh,
You're in it.
okay.
I'm in it.
Oh
So
my gosh, so it's us anyway. And
Exactly.
we got a couple of exciting projects with that as well. We, again, want to tackle children obesity, and educating them into life wiser choices when it comes to what they put in a pie hole, because that's what kids do. They stuff in a pie hole.
you know what you taught me when you were on your diet? The most important thing was you noticed the fact of when you were picking, just being at home, just picking stuff up and eating it,
Uh-huh.
and not even recognize that you're eating something.
Well, it's a habit-breaking thing. If you're used to do certain things, the hardest thing to break will be the habit itself. And I went in a low-calorie diet, so I'm not eating as much.
Right.
And the first week, it was pretty tough. But then your body gets used to it. And, I still feel like I could eat more, but I find no problem in resisting the urge.
Right.
And anyway, we don't need to talk about me and my personal diet. I think we need to talk how we can benefit everybody by bringing them, more knowledge.
And that's what we're doing. Chef Live 2010 is all about bringing to you the top chefs in Las Vegas, the healthier way of eating things. And we're going to start focusing a lot of attention on the children and working with children, because the difference today is when you and I grew up, Luciano, when we sat down at the table and our parents put a bowl in front of us, we ate it. We didn't second guess it. And most of the things were created at home. And today in the tough world, we're going to create simple recipes for families and young kids to be able to prepare for themselves.
Absolutely.
So they can start eating healthy and start their way.
And when it comes to a meal like this, of course, it's not necessarily the healthiest of choices, but you got lean beef, you have a little bit of pork, you have some
Right.
pasta, and then eventually, as long as you don't eat, a whole bowl full of it, you shall be okay. But anyway, I think it is time for us to drop the pasta, and we might actually need to take another little break.
Well, I'll clean up a little bit while the pasta's cooking. And
Absolutely. So like I said, here we got boiling water. Pasta should always be cooked in abundant boiling water, otherwise it tends to stick to itself. And it has been seasoned with sea salt. So remember that the pasta will taste like the water that you put it in. So if the water has no salt, the pasta will be tasteless. So enough salt to make the pasta tasty.
Cheflive.com, step by step. We'll be right back.
If you missed any of this, see you later. And welcome back. I think, Jimmy, we're almost ready to go here. We're going to assemble the masterpiece.
Oh,
so here I got my pasta, is nice and al dente.
Luciano, before we, what kind of pasta is that?
Yeah, that's what I was going to...
What is
so today's choice is actually a rotelle, so it looks like a wheel. So rotelle is like Italian for wheel.
Yeah. Little babies call that wagon wheels.
Yeah, wagon wheels,
Right.
that's right. The
Right.
little red flyer, there you
See
go.
that?
So I'm actually going to drain this. You got your sauce there. You think, well, you're going
Now,
to
Luciano, just in my grandmother's memory, I think what I have to do is taste the sauce,
make sure it's okay?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Right?
I won't begrudge you.
A little warm. I have to tell you. A little salt and pepper, and we're good to go.
All right.
A little exercise for the day here. Here we go.
So I drained the water there. I'm actually going to put some extra virgin olive oil in the pasta. So just like this is basically lightly dressed and ready to receive whatever sauce we put on it. So what are you chopping there, Jimmy?
This looks like a little basil to me.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Basil and what else?
A little oregano?
Oregano, fresh oregano?
Yeah, and one of the things that I tell people is a lot of people fine dice it. One of the things I do is I like to tear it a little bit.
Right.
And once again, I like everything textured to be multiple textures. If everything looks too perfect,
Right.
it probably doesn't look good. So I
Yeah.
kind of like I like a little big
It doesn't
pieces.
look. It wouldn't look like your grandma made it, right?
Exactly,
Okay.
because she had no measuring cups, and I think she was a little farsighted too. So,
Yeah, I agree.
so we're just going to sprinkle it on the top, give it a little flavor, flash flavor.
Look at that. That's perfect.
There we go. One of the things my master chef taught me at CIA was keep your workspace clean. I'm doing pretty good. I got a B minus.
You
Huh?
are Mr. Clean himself.
All right, so we got a nice plate. Let me make a little room here.
Should I put some pasta on the plate there?
I think
You
so.
want- We put the pasta on the bottom?
Yeah, I think a little pasta on the bottom.
Okay, I got it. Grab a towel.
hot?
It's a little too hot, yeah. So this is with the intention to serve it family style, right? You just
Yes.
put it in the middle of the table
Yes.
and let everybody dig in.
I will tell you the good news about these kind of recipes. I actually make this stuff for my daughter, and she takes it home to college with her.
Lucky
It's al
her.
dente. That's nice salt flavor. That's nice, real nice.
All right, will you do the honors?
Absolutely. Let me see.
How about I'll hold it for you? Hold on, let me see here. There you go.
All right.
Oh, look at that. Ah, divine.
My grandmother's smiling right now.
Is she? That's
And just so
good.
you know, I don't know if you see how easy this is, but really, truly, this is an easy dish to do. And the nice part is, you do it with pasta today. Tomorrow you could take it and put it on a slice of bread. As Bonnie Johnson, our nutritionist, would say, whole wheat bread.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Always
Right.
choose carefully your carbs.
Exactly.
If you master carbs, they gotta be the right one.
And then there's an old tradition that we always say. You know what that is,
Missing a
Luciano?
spot there.
You know what that is? We always
What
got
is
to save one in the pot. You know what that's for, right?
No, I don't.
Huh?
Oh. Who's that for?
This is for my wife.
For the little mouse?
This is
Oh,
for my
you.
wife. See? My wife comes back in the kitchen and has one more bite. See?
There you go.
All right.
You're such a thoughtful man. That's why you're so loved.
All right. There we go.
Wow, look at
Wow.
that feast.
All right. So here you have a little
So how do you finish that off?
pasta.
Little
Well,
Parmesan cheese?
I go
or-
back to a little Parmesan and a little Romano. Once again, a little texture.
Oh, you gotta do a little more than that.
How do you feel about cheese?
You know. If it's good, I'd go for it.
Now, I have one question for you.
Yeah.
Should we finish off with just a little
You
bit?
know, I was just about to ask, what would Grandma say?
I think she would say,
Yeah, go
"Now,
for it.
Luciano,
Let me
finish up
drizzle.
my dish."
That's an awkward, but oh, look at that.
And what do you think? Combined effort?
I think that's a 10.
It
Thank
was
you
a
very
pleasure
much,
as
Jimmy.
well.
Pleasure was all mine, and I hope the pleasure will be yours as well. And if you missed any of the steps for this recipe, don't forget to catch us on cheflive.com, where you can also find many other talented chefs sharing their goodies with you. And
Thanks again. We'll do it again.
Jimmy,
Luciano,
great chef. Thank you very much. We'll see you later.
see you later.